Okay, but first we're talking about what's changing inside our schools. But the conversation today isn't about syllabus, exams or power. Because across private schools, something fundamental has shifted. Teachers say decisions inside classrooms are no longer theirs to make. What was once professional judgment is now often overridden by complaints. Discipline that's meant to be consistent becomes negotiable. Teaching quality takes a backseat. And when parent satisfaction drives outcomes, teachers working inside the system say this pressure shows up every single day. Teachers complain of assigned non-teaching duties or of being monitored more for conduct than classroom results. Many teachers, in fact, say the job has changed. Leave is treated like a favor and extra work is expected, not discussed. That pressure builds when complaints start carrying more weight than performance. Parents are also increasingly treated as paying clients. Escalation becomes a tool, surveillance becomes routine, and trust between teachers and management wears thin. But this is not a one-sided story because accountability inside classrooms also matters. Not all teachers are updating skills. Outdated methods still exist. Feedback isn't always welcomed, and sometimes poor performance is blamed entirely on the system. So when systems are weak, bad teaching survives, good teachers burn out, students are the ones who lose consistency, clarity, and also fairness. So who sets boundaries inside schools? Who is accountable? We discussed this with our guest this morning. First up, we do want to call upon Naveen Chopra. He's the founder of Chopras Global Education Group. Joins us this morning on the Breakfast Club. Good morning, Mr. Naveen. Hope you're doing well.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm doing well and you're looking fine and doing well.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Naveen, let's begin with, that all-important question. Has teaching over the years changed? In any way, do you think the essence that used to come with teaching has eroded, is not looked upon in the same way? What's your analysis?
There's a massive depreciation on the teacher and the value of the teacher. This is a profession which, if you really think about it, is thousands of years old. And in our civilization, bearing in mind we are a civilization, we are not a country, we are a civilization. Civilizationally, the guru has occupied the preeminent space in society. In ancient times, the guru was the supreme teacher who, through massive hours or days, months or years of meditation, achieved insights and then passed them down the line, which were then passed down the line again to society. And that those teachings form the essence of our living principles, so to speak. And they have, to some extent, the only shades of it survive to this day. And the civilization has survived because of the ecosystem that was set up. Today, we have gone overly westernized. I believe that the problems that are there in the classroom are symptomatic of the issues that are confronting society. So, for example, parents, a large number of them, I'm not saying all parents, but a large number of parents are abrogating their responsibility to the children they bring into the world by leading extraordinarily busy lives, not being able to pay the attention that a child deserves, especially in the first 4 years of a child's life. Those are the four critical years.
When they enter their classrooms, all of it shows. And gets very difficult for the teacher to then fix it at a later stage. But Mr. Chopra, you spoke of something which I thought was particularly interesting, which is how we're giving into the Western concept. Interestingly, a lot of people say the condition of teachers or how they're treated in the West is far better, or in a lot of countries is far better. Do you agree to that? We also have a second speaker who's with us. Rita Kapoor has joined us. She's the founder, director of Gyanshri School. Good morning, Ms. Rita. I'll come to you in just a bit. Yes, Mr. Chopra, go ahead.
Yes, definitely. The teacher treatment in the West and the teacher view in the West is definitely at a far higher, more respectable position. They are paid far better, they are treated far better, and they have far better say in the curriculum, for example, in how the teaching methodologies evolve. So it's a very live environment where there is constant consultation between school managements, teachers and the administrations, be they the states or the government, central governments or state governments or local governments, as the case may be, that seems to be missing. We are increasingly, unfortunately, becoming a very up-down society. There's directions coming from the up, down the line, and unfortunately, I think throughout the world, including India, what is gone or is going very rapidly, I should say, is the ethical and standards. We have become increasingly acceptance of lies. Lies have become the truth. The truth has become lies, and that's visible through everything from the Trump phenomena down the line. Wherever you look, it's the same story. It's reflecting in the classroom. The student is indisciplined.
Yeah, interestingly, for a long time, we'd heard parents say that my child should become a doctor, should become an engineer. Teacher happened, I think, 2 decades ago, maybe a decade ago. That surely is not being seen or heard anymore. But a lot of people have given up on wanting their children to become doctors and engineers also. That's the kind of world we're living in today. But Ms. Kapoor, good morning. I want to understand from you whether you think the teaching conditions in our country have changed the last 1 decade or so, and if you agree, in what aspect have they changed? Is it just to do with how well or underpaid teachers are, or there's an emotional and social factor to it as well?
Well, yes, the condition of teachers have changed, the job roles have changed, the demands on the teachers and expectations have gone up. Society is changing, hence the demands are also changing. But what I feel is that the readiness of the teachers to cope up with these demands or these expectations is not there. There was a time when the focus was on teaching. Now there are so many other things have cropped up, the extracurricular activities and the technology and the games and sports, mental well-being, counseling, mindfulness. Whole lot of things are emerging which need teachers' focus, but the empowerment of the teacher, the readiness of the teacher for these skills is not there. Hence, there is a blame game which has started, and of course, the receiving end is the child.
When you say readiness is not there, what do you mean, Ms. Kapoor? Because a lot of teachers have come out to complain that we were not trained to be counselors. We were not trained to give any sort of education in the domain of sports or arts and crafts. So why are we expected to do that exactly?
Yes, they are right. When we talk about empowerment of the teachers or the training of the teachers, if we look back, when was the last time when the training B.Ed course was changed? Curriculum was changed. Where are the top institutes for training the teachers? Where are IITs and IIMs in education sector today? Nowhere. In the name of training of teachers, there is this 50 hours of training that CBSE has made it mandatory. But who does? How is it done? Are all teachers getting this kind of training? These are question marks. These are larger questions which we have to face. And we have to accept that teachers work in a box 6 hours by 200 days or some days. And we keep pouring in things into that, Now the robotics have to come, and the art and culture and music and dance, theatre, sports, mental wellness, and AI technology is another tsunami which has come. So where are the teachers getting ready? That's my question.
But are they really leaving the schools after 6 or 7 hours of work is another question being asked. Mr. Kapoor, Mr. Chopra, Ms. Kapoor has spoken of a host of things. Do you want to comment on anything you found particularly interesting, especially with regards to this working hour criticism? It's something that teachers are once again being extremely vocal about, that we were supposed to work only for 7 hours. We're expected to be at the beck and call of parents, of the principal, even beyond working hours. How big of a problem do you think that is?
It's a massive problem, because the school system or education system per se has not evolved or is not keeping pace with the changes that my colleague has very, very lucidly laid out. So, I mean, for instance, in an ideal world, there is a need for dedicated psychologist, 1 or 2 people or a 3-member team, because they should be there to assist teachers and parents. More importantly, there's a huge role to play. The parents have to play, and parents need to be counseled as much as students, especially if there are issues of misbehavior or depression, or any of those kinds of behaviors that track. That cannot be expected to be the domain of the classroom teacher, whose job is to deliver a curriculum which has been targeted by the authorities, the CBSE or ISC or whatever, whichever board is applicable. Then, when it comes to extracurriculars, again, the system has to expand to provide for additional, sports coaches or teachers or so on. In an ideal world, we have shifted to a scenario where instead of, in my view, rather than give homework, classroom hours should be extended with another, maybe a part-time second shift put in place. So shift
But
one comes and
that's
teaches.
also being practiced in a few schools, isn't it, Mr. Chopra? There are extracurricular periods before or after school hours.
Yes, but the tragedy or tragic comedy is that this is generally within the domain of the very expensive private schools. It's a financial game, really. Everything costs money, and unless the cash flows and financials are sound, these things don't happen. Or in government schools, budgets have to be expanded. I think she wanted to say something.
Ms. Kapoor, yes.
No, Mr. Chopra, I just wanted to say that there are two kinds of schools, I would say. The schools that you are talking about, I think they have everything. They match the best schools in the world, no doubt. But I think they don't count much because they are very small in numbers. We are talking here about government schools, and we are talking about private schools in rural and semi-urban state. That is where the challenge is. When we come to the extracurricular activities, schools have teachers, but they may not be sufficient. But this infrastructure is not there. The working conditions are not there. I'm talking about these schools. At the same time, the salaries of the teachers are so low, they are expected to double up for a lot of things. Apart from extracurricular activities, they are doubled up to do some government jobs also.
Even besides, they're expected to be available 24/7, and COVID has sort of furthered that entire pattern and made it a lot more difficult for teachers. So parents want the teacher available if they have one small doubt about how to go about a single homework as well. That's, I think, somewhere
yes,
become very
that is a problem, because this technology business and COVID has actually, made it compulsory for the teachers to be available, which is I feel is very unfair on the part of parents also, and teachers also. They can't.
Apart from this, a lot of teachers have spoken of how they have, over the years, lost the moral authority in the classrooms as well, not just in online mode. Do you agree?
Yes.
And do you think it's actually come down to teachers being service providers, where the client is always right mindset works?
Yes, that's very right. That's very right. The managing the discipline online and offline is a problem. Mostly it's been seen that the children sit in front of the laptop or iPad or whatever, and the camera is off, and they are doing something else. So under these circumstances, how does a teacher how is a teacher expected to maintain discipline? On top of that, children coming from economically affluent background, they are very, very, very low on resilience level. Teachers cannot say anything to them. The kind of suicides are happening on small little things. This goes on to say that the resilience among students is very low. Now, under these circumstances, how do you expect the teachers to keep discipline in the class? And the moral duties of the teachers are at a question. So
and
that's
even
what I
worse,
have to
if
say.
they're checked for things like how they dress up, what kind of makeup they're wearing, which is shocking and quite problematic.
It's
And that
shocking
is
and quite,
happening in small pockets maybe, but indeed is happening because some people have spoken about it vocally.
See, this hybrid model that is there now, apart from especially NCR, about good 30 days, we are working on hybrid model. Hybrid model is the students are working from home.
Yeah.
Now, there is no discipline there, no uniform. At times, the child gets up in the morning and the mother is feeding the breakfast to the child and the teacher is yelling and screaming. These are the issues I'm sure everybody is facing as parents and as teachers. We are facing. And where do we account the teacher for discipline in the classroom?
Okay, we have to wrap up. We don't have too much time. Mr. Chopra, one quick question because we also want to address the problem. So of everything we've discussed so far, what do you think? Let's say, list for us 3 decisions that should be taken, that should be followed pan-India, across schools, private and government, that will slowly once again put teaching on the job map, wherein people are actually looking, young Indians are actually looking at this as a viable career.
It's a wish list. That's it's almost a dream sort of a story, because in essence you have to free up schools, indeed the education system, by just setting a very loose framework in which they have to function, a very strict watchdog to ensure that nothing untoward is happening in the school system, and leave the schools free to decide for themselves how to go about doing the job of raising these young adults. The basic is still the same. Teaching is more about character building and teaching how to think, to develop the mind. You observe any baby in the first 4 or 5 years of its life, the baby, or 5 6 years of its life, is a lateral thinker. Okay, there are no boundaries. We iron out this lateral thinking from our children by building narrow lane pathways. You can't do this, you can't do that, don't go there, don't do this, don't say this, don't say that. So all of that develops or moves into linear thinking. We have now entered the age of the artificial intelligence. I would refer to it as intelligence, generated artificially, because human beings unfortunately still are using only about 4% of their brain capacity. I mean, there's more than the trillion connections in the brain, and we just use 4% of that.
Basically,
So
you're saying there's more than 3 things that need to be done. We're far away from that story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you need to wrap, but this is a very deep question.
Yeah. Possibly we'll take this up on another day and take this conversation forward, because we surely as a country do need teaching to stay and remain as an aspirational career for young Indians. Very important, because it plays one of the biggest roles in shaping a child's character and what he essentially faces in life going forward. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us this morning.
May I just add one sentence for you? That people who have had experience, have been in jobs or businesses at an advanced stage, should be encouraged to come into teaching as a secondary profession, even if it is part-timing it. They have a huge amount of experience and they can fill the gaps of the teaching in the teaching numbers. That's another thing that should be done.
Sure, that's a noble thought. I don't know if we are asking for too much, at least at the moment, but thank you so much. Thank you to the both of you for joining us this morning. We head into a very quick break with